want to take a look at the squad that Kaizer Chiefs have as we're nearing the end of the season. I asked the question, which of these players should be kept and which of these players should Kaizer Chiefs part ways with in our game of keep or sell, right? And begin with the goalkeepers. And of course, we know Fies Ntwari who joined the season, Bruce Vuma, who's playing right now, and Brandon Peterson, who played last season, but we haven't seen much of him this season. Of those three coaches, of those three goalkeepers, who stays and who should be sold?
I think you keep Bruce because he's the one getting the game time. Meaning that of the people that he's then usurped, no one is pushing him. I mean, there are goals where he could have done better, like throughout this campaign, where you're like, if only you were better positioned, or if there was a full dive, you'd have saved that. But Peterson had a howl, and he was given chance after chance, and he just never got his confidence back. And since then, was let go. Untwari, yeah, no, he just wasn't the replacement. They tried to back him, but mistake after mistake as well. So you keep with the guy who's been there the longest, the guy who's currently in the number one seat.
I've supported Vuma, right? Before they signed Untwari, I vouched for Bruce Vuma because I felt he hadn't really done anything wrong to lose his place. But I keep Untwari because they just signed him at the start of the season. I think you give him another season, take a look at him. I part ways with Vuma and Peterson, because with the game time that Vuma has gotten, there's just so many mistakes that keep coming in, and I don't feel secure with him as the goalkeeper. If I was a centre back and playing in front of him, I wouldn't feel secure. And then with Peterson, like just that action of what he did on the sidelines with the coach, like that has left like a terrible taste in my mouth. And I can't imagine that he's great for the squad. So I'd part ways with him. So those goalkeepers, I'd keep Ntwari. And then in terms of the defenders, Chuck, you've got Spiwe Msimango, you've got Edmilson Dove, Rushuin Totli, who's out with an injury at the moment, Zita Kwinika, and you've got Ignacio Miguel and Bradley Cross.
Cross has found himself out of his depth quite quickly. He looked good in the first couple of games, and that's really it. Since then, he's failed to actually prove that he belongs to be in a Kaizer Chiefs team that's under so much pressure, because there are mistakes, there's exposure in terms of his positioning and how he reads the game. So, yeah, you can gamble and keep him if you want, but I've seen enough. Msimang, I think, has stepped up, but that's because of injuries, right? So I wonder to myself, I think after De Klokwe has left, you don't want to be thin at centre back, right? So you keep with De Klokwe for that reason. Not De Klokwe, Msimang for that reason. Miguel, yes, I think is a good leader. He takes the penalties and he's given them a bit of bite, and he's vocal, and I think he's a good leader there at the back. Utotli as well, started very well, even got himself a Bafana call-up, was playing for Bafana, and then injuries came, right? So I think he's good enough to be there. Still has some way to go in terms of development, but he's someone you stick with. The other names that you read was Kwinika. I saw him the one time against Sundowns, not too bad, but overall, no, man. I don't think Kwinika is your guy anymore. I think his time has come and gone. You sell Kwinika as well. Who am I missing out on?
So I did exclude some defenders. So it's Bradley Cross, Bongani Sam, Happy Mashiani, Reef Frosler, Dylan Solomons.
I think Frosler is solid. I tend to like Frosler when he's playing. Solomons is good for going forward, but not with what Chiefs look like at the moment, because you want to be solid at the back. You don't want too many forwards into the front up until you get your game right? So when Nabi is cooking and everything goes well, you'd have the luxury of Solomons on your team, and you can play very well. But without that, no. Mashiane is a curious one for me because he hasn't gotten that much game time. But when he has come, I've liked Mashiane when I've seen him play. Yes, there was a game when you're like, happy that wasn't necessarily good.
Mashiane has gotten his chances.
I know.
And the thing is, with the state of the left back position at Kaizer Chiefs, he should have cemented his place over there.
Yeah, but the thing is,
enough.
That's true, right?
Can I ask you this question? How old do you think Mashiane is?
Isn't he like 26 at this point?
He's 27. I thought Mashiane was like still 23, 24. And I realized he's 27. There's a lot of time that she's already invested in him. And unfortunately, hasn't paid off. I think, he's good enough to continue playing the PSL, right?
Yeah.
But in terms of where Kaizer Chiefs want to end up, nah.
Nah, man, I think he gives that stability. For the way they want to play, the composure on the ball, he's the guy. And I know we're speaking about individual players in a team that's not playing particularly well, so obviously there will be cracks. But I'd gamble. If there's someone who's been there for a long time that I still want to stay, I'd gamble on Happy Mashiane.
Yeah, I'm keeping all those defenders, except for Mashiani, as I did mention.
All of them.
Except for
Yeah, yeah,
Mashiani. Wait,
yeah.
I'm not that. Except
Oh,
for Mashiani, who I did mention. I'd also part ways with Bradley Cross. I've seen enough. This one
yeah.
season, I've seen enough. Reef Flossler and Dylan Solomons. I don't know. I feel like Chiefs need to start over in the right back position because it's been Frosler or Solomons or Njabulo Blom when he's been a Kaizer Chiefs player. Sometimes you've had Okunika play as right back, and that position is one that they haven't settled on. So I'd keep Frosler as a backup. I'd get rid of anybody else, Solomons included, and then you need to go and buy a right back who's going to be the starting right back going forward. And then we go into midfield, Chuck, and we've got Usbong Senim Teto, Ox, Yusuf Mart, the captain. Edson Castillo, you've got Samgelo Zwani, you've got Thabo Cele, you've got Nkosing Pile Ngobo. Of those, who stays, who goes?
Yeah, I've tried to defend Mart as much as I can, but yeah, I think he falls into that same camp of players that you think have got enough chances. Abo Mashia and Abo Solomons, Abo Bruce Vuma as well. I think Umar doesn't give them anything special. He's solid, but you need more than that, right? That's why when Tabot Gala came in, it was so refreshing. It was like, this is what we've been looking for the whole time. So Tabot Gala stays for sure. Castillo, I would have loved to see more of him this season, except Guti injuries robbed us.
Yeah, he's been injured, eh?
Yeah, but I think if he was there, he would have given them so much more and he would have been a difference maker. So Castillo definitely stays. Still a new signing, you definitely keep him. Ungobo, I think, yeah, he's been on and off. Also injury hits, but I think he's someone you can play. I think he's dependable as well. Oh, please run the first two names again because I thought to myself, no. I said Mart, no. Ox, no. Yeah, you want some bite, but for me,
yeah. So the only person that you are missing is Samgelo Zwan.
Okay, Ozwan, I think you keep. There's a bit of work that needs to be done in terms of how we can impact and give you more energy on the game, but the quality is there, right? And it's a matter of extracting that responsibly and him reading the game. And so now I can do the back heel. Now I can do the flashy things. Now I can play the Hollywood pass. Or this game does not need any Hollywood passes. Just keep it simple. So he needs to learn those parts of his game, but the talent is definitely there. So you gamble on that and hopefully it pays off, right? So Ox there, I think they've tried, but it's very limited for Kaizer Chiefs. He's not going to help them going forward. So Ox out, Mart out, and I don't know if I'm forgetting anyone.
No, that is everybody, and
Cool.
I agree with that as well. I think as much as they chased Ox for as long as they did, he's not the guy. He's not the solution there. Mart as well. He's just never really lived up to what we saw when I was at Skukuna as captain as well. And. Yeah, the other players as well. I keep Ungobo. Maybe you send Ungobo out on loan because I think he needs to play more. But I like his game. It's different. He's not very athletic, but he's got an eye for a pass. And maybe you think of him as a luxury player, but I still do think that you can get something from him. And we've seen him be more industrious this season. I've seen him work a little more. We've seen him work off the field as well to get slimmer and get himself in playing shape. So I like that, right? And so and I like the player. So I'd keep him Shini as well.